everyone, my name is Samantha and welcome to my YouTube channel Sewing in Switzerland. So this is actually the second time I am recording this video. I had a lot of messages over the last few weeks from people saying that they were struggling with the audio on my videos and that it wasn't... I'm sorry, the dog is going wild. He really wants to play. And yeah, that the audio wasn't picking up at all in the videos. So I purchased a microphone and then stupidly put the microphone in the cubby hole, recorded the video and thought, gosh, nailed it. And then played it back and there was no audio because the sound was all blocked. So take two. Second time is the charm. That's what they say, right? Or is it the third time? Hopefully the second time. So today, let's have a look. I want to have a look at the current controversy around the Closet Core Pattern Company and the Mara Hoffman dress situation. So I'll just fill you in from a really high level perspective and then we'll share opinions and see what everybody thinks about it. Hi, we've got a late joiner with us today. So, firstly, what happened is Closet Core Patterns released a dress called the Joe dress, and I'll link all the images and everything so you can all see it, and all of the information that gets discussed today I'll put it in the descriptions so you can follow the links and the pictures and whatnot yourselves. So the Joe dress, it is a beautiful dress. It's got these kind of croissant style sleeves. It's got this lovely v-neck here. You've got like a slit at the front. There's a back zipper, and then you've got this like elasticated waist or kind of just under the bust there. And it looks very similar. It's made in the exact same style of fabric as well. It's like a white linen on the promo pictures as this Mara Hoffman dress. So this Mara Hoffman dress, Mara Hoffman first of all is a fashion designer with a series of ready to wear garments, and she also does the, you know, like the runway circuits and what have you. It's very luxe, it's very high end, it's very expensive ready to wear clothing. So this dress that we're going to be talking about was about $1,400, $1,600. So it's at the, you know, it's at a high price point. It's also, and I think this is quite an important point to make, it's not being sold anymore. There is a very similar silhouette, a very similar version of this dress with different kind of detailing. It's got this kind of like black line piping all over it, or like this cord all over it. It's very similar. I'm worried that the microphone is just gonna pick up the dogs, if I'm honest. Let's just roll her around, roll her away from the microphone. So yeah, this dress is very, very similar to the Closet Core Pattern release, but it is not being made anymore. So a lot of people kind of came to the comments on the pattern release and they said this is a Mara Hoffman knockoff. This is an exact replica of this. And a few people went onto the Mara Hoffman Instagram account and they went back as far as, and I went and found it too, just in the name of research. And they went as far back as like April 2022. And that's when this pattern, or this ready to wear garment was available and was featured in their photos. And a few people have tagged Mara Hoffman and said, you know, Closet Core Patterns has ripped off your garment. So in the Closet Core Instagram comments, someone wrote, Mara Hoffman needs a word. And Mara Hoffman, or the social media manager behind the Mara Hoffman Instagram account, commented saying exactly, exclamation mark, which is a bit antagonistic. So I don't know. It's just one word. So from that one word, we haven't got a statement released by Mara Hoffman saying, you know, I don't like that you've copied this pattern or this garment. She's not a pattern designer. She doesn't make patterns. It's a ready-to-wear garment. We just have this one word, exactly. And I guess from that we can surmise that she's maybe not very happy that the two dresses are very, very similar. So, yeah, with that in mind, let's just take a look at the bigger picture slightly. So a lot of people said, you know, this is terrible, you're ripping off another fashion house. But the two are not the same. One is a sewing pattern company, a small sewing pattern company, and the other is a fashion house. So is it okay to make high luxe fashion items in sewing pattern format for people to buy? A lot of people are priced out of the Mara Hoffman dress because it is an expensive dress. Other people won't be able to buy it because it's not for sale anymore, it's not in production. Another group of people who will not be able to purchase Mara Hoffman are the members of the fat sewing community. So when this pattern, or when this dress, the Mara Hoffman dress, was released, it only went up to a size 12, which is very, very narrow sizing, very small sizing. So no one above a size 12 would have been able to purchase it anyway and fit into it. So in 2019, there was this big hoo-ha, and Mara Hoffman came out and said, you know, I'm all about sustainability now. And I'm all about larger, or being more accessible for the larger plus sized people. So she made an increase into her size range, and it now goes up to about size 18. So a lot of the fat sewing community still wouldn't be able to purchase it, even if it was available, because it's still narrow sizing. It is only a size 18, whereas the closet core pattern actually goes up to a size 32. So all of a sudden we have these group of people, or different groups of people who can afford such luxe high-end clothing, people who wouldn't have fit into the Mara Hoffman clothing, and people who, come on, that's enough. I think he might have a sort, yeah. So yeah, we've got whole groups of people that can't purchase the Mara Hoffman one, and I think that home sewists are not her target audience anyway. That's a whole different group of people. So, you know, a lot of people were upset. They said they feel like they've been duped by Closet Core, and if this isn't their pattern or, you know, their design, then what else isn't their design? And other people kind of gave an opposing view to that on the comments, and they said this has been going on for generations of people have been home sewing so that they can make items that are replicas or duplicates of high luxe fashion that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. And you know, you've got some of the big four, like the Vogue companies, who license the designer and the runway clothes and designers so that home sewers can make them. So it's a really, you know, big part of the sewing community. It's been going on for a really, really long time, although arguably Vogue do pay to license these. So should, on that note, Closet Core Patterns have reached out to Mara Hoffman and said, can we license this design? Would that have been a way around it? But seeing as she doesn't sell that dress anymore, would they have needed to? So looking on the website, I mean, if we go down this rabbit hole and we say, for one, then surely we must look at all of the patterns that are available across indie sewing pattern companies and apply that same school of thought. So I had a quick look on the Mara Hoffman website, and in their collection they've got a dress that is absolutely identical to the Vicky Sews Una dress with the cutouts here. So on that note, it's very much what came first, the chicken or the egg? Should we be looking to Vicky Sews and saying, well, this is a knockoff here? And that said, there's also on the Mara Hoffman shop, she's got this kind of V-neck bodice with these kind of short, almost cap sleeves, and like a gathered skirt piece that is, I mean, I can name 3, 4 just off the top of my head that are exactly the same pattern. So should we be casting our minds right back and saying, well, actually this came before the Mara Hoffman dress? Or, you know, no other indie sewing company or pattern designer, even though there's so many out there, can make a gathered v-neck dress because Mara Hoffman's done it, or some other designers done it. Like, where do we draw the line? So some people on the other side of that said, well, it's intellectual property theft, and they've gone out of their way to, you know, produce a knockoff. Other people responded and said, well, actually it can't be intellectual property theft because clothing is a functional item and you cannot copyright that because everybody deserves access to clothing. So it's not something that can be copyrighted. Oh, we've got a little bit of interfacing. I need to tidy the sewing room. So with that in mind, can we really copyright anything? Well, obviously we can't because it's not something that can be, but should we be calling out every, or, you know, deep diving into every pattern and saying, well, this is very similar? And where does the line, and is the lines blurred because Mara Hoffman isn't a pattern company, she's a fashion designer? So does she even count? Can companies be making patterns based off, you know, high luxe fashion? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Some people have some really strong thoughts on whether this is a right thing to do, and some people have said that they're going to boycott Closet Core patterns and they'll shop them again, and I don't know. I don't think that we can so quickly decide, to be honest, because there are so many other companies that we could assign the same situation to. So on that, let's take a quick look at Mara Hoffman the brand. So Mara Hoffman the brand has been involved in some legal battles, and I googled and I can find 3 that are publicly disclosed. There might be more. This is just from, you know, my research, my googling. And 2 of them were with Forever 21, where they sued Forever 21. Mara Hoffman sued Forever 21 for the use of arrows. She tried to claim that the arrow imagery was her own, but the arrow imagery that had been on her clothes is very closely linked to the art and the imagery from Native American artwork. So, you know, I know it's not the same as, say, stealing a clothing item, but cultural appropriation is a very sketchy, shady thing to be doing. There's also a really, really great article, and I'll obviously link it in the description, and I don't want to paraphrase her. It's this incredible blog post from this Mexican woman who discusses how in 2012 Mara Hoffman produced this range with artwork that was stolen from the Otomi Mexican artworks, and she describes how shamans use and create this artwork and how it's heavily linked to, you know, religious and healing, and it's very powerful, very, very deeply personal artwork as part of their culture. And that's just been ripped off and stuck on some, like, women's ready-to-wear clothing. So it's a really thought-provoking article on cultural appropriation, and I definitely recommend that you seek it out and give it a read because it is really interesting. So yeah, and then that was 2012. So in 2014, Mara Hoffman then released a collection of children's wear with the company J. Crew. And this is, I mean, you can Google J. Crew and Mara Hoffman and do like an image search and it'll come up with all the images, and it's all these children wearing, you know, these Indian designs, and there's like Indian gods and icons on the clothing, and it's very culturally appropriated. And even in the promotional pictures, the children are all doing yoga poses and they've got bindis, and it's just, yeah, it's not great. So obviously cultural appropriation and maybe copying someone's fashion item are two different things, but I don't think we can really hail Mara Hoffman as being this beacon of light, this fantastic company that does nothing wrong, because obviously cultural appropriation is terrible and she's actively been doing it for years. So I think we must take them as a brand into consideration. So that said, I said a little earlier that Mara Hoffman, that it was Mara Hoffman's dress. So is it? Is it? There is a Celine dress that predates the Mara Hoffman dress that has the exact same shape, with the croissant sleeves, the v-neck, the slit, the back zipper. Very, very similar. I mean, maybe not 100% on the money, but very, very similar. So for Mara Hoffman to be kind of sending snide comments on the Closet Core pattern company, it doesn't seem right when there is a dress that predates the Mara Hoffman one that is very, very similar. So can we even call it the Mara Hoffman dress at this point when there is a Celine version predating it? I mean, you know, we can go round and round in circles, and we can find that obviously fashion is very cyclical, and a really great resource for fashion information and, you know, who's reusing whose fashion designs is Diet Prada on Instagram, and they've also got a blog, and it's a fantastic wealth of resource if fashion and high fashion and luxe brands are your thing, or if it's something that you really want to know about. Okay, let's just chill out here. Oh dear. So yeah, Diet Prada, they're a really great wealth of information and a really great resource for this kind of stuff. So, and they're always sharing on there, you know, we've seen this design in this place so many years before. So I think that we can't really say that Mara Hoffman is the first person to produce a dress with these croissant style sleeves, and Closet Core Patterns are not the first company to replicate a dress from a high luxe fashion brand. So I don't know, does it make it right? Do you side with the Mara Hoffman or with the Closet Core Patterns? Do you think it's somewhere in the middle? Do you even think it matters? Like, it has been blown into this kind of quite big contentious thing, and a lot of people in the sewing community are talking about it. But it's not something that is new, it's not something that hasn't happened before, so why are people bothered now? And it's the same with the whole Tilly and the Buttons thing, I think. I think there's like real winds of change going on in the sewing community at the moment, and I think that the community is shifting slightly, and it's looking for its new normal, and other brands and other people are being held more accountable, whereas perhaps they wouldn't have been before. So I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you think there's a lot more controversy going on at the moment? Because there's like a whole handful of things that I could have made videos on that are like super similar. Well, not super similar in theme, but certainly within the sewing community, as in one person said something and someone disagreed with them, and then it's kind of blown into this controversy or this contentious situation. So I would like to know what your thoughts are, you know, what your feelings are around this whole Closet Core Pattern situation. I'm just going to check and see if I've missed anything on my notes. So I think that I have pretty much covered everything that I wanted to discuss. I will say, I did find this amusing. I will say that Closet Core Pattern Company themselves did not reply to the Mara Hoffman comment, which I found very amusing. And they've also not released a statement at all. They've just kind of moved on from the situation, and they've continued being active on social media and replying to certain comments. And yeah, they've just not like addressed the situation at all. They've not responded to it at all. So do you think that they should have? Do you think that they should have released a statement? Do you think they should have said something? Do you think that you'll make the dress? What do you think of the dress? I've seen a lot of comments online and people have said that they actually don't like the sleeves, they don't like the shape. I'm actually quite a big fan. I don't mind it. I think it's gorgeous. I think it looked nice in a nice deep red. Does it put you off closet core patterns, having seen that perhaps the dress has been, you know, inspired by it elsewhere? Or, you know, are you on the team of the luxe fashion brand Mara Hoffman? And on that note, can you really be on the side of Mara Hoffman when there's a Celine dress that predates it anyway? So do you have any idea where we think that we could draw the line for this? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I just have the information and the research for you all to kind of share your thoughts on. I would very much like to know your thoughts on the matter, or if you think that I've missed anything out, or, you know, my research is incomplete and you'd like to add to it, by all means do please weigh in on the comments. So I welcome that and I look forward to hearing from you all. And on that note, I wish you all a really great day. I hope you've got some sunshine and I'll see you soon. Bye!